Let's get to some news out of D.C. today. The Biden administration will begin making those payments on the child tax credits later this summer, beginning in the middle of July. We want to get to Rick Newman for a little bit more on this. And Rick, when we talk about what's included in this, I guess who qualifies and how much can people expect to receive from this?
The White House says about 88% of families with children will qualify. The income cutoffs are $75,000 if you are a single parent and $150,000 if you're a married couple. The thing that's really different and notable about what's happening in July, the way that we've had a child tax credit on the books for some time, and the way it normally works is you claim the credit the following year when you're doing your taxes, so it gets muddled up in all of your tax return issues. What's different is this credit is now advanceable. This was part of the American Rescue Plan Congress passed in March. That means you get the tax credit in real time, or rather half of it, half of whatever you qualify for, you're going to get sent to you every month, either as a check or an automatic deposit in your bank account. And we're talking about real money here. I mean, if you for a family with two kids, we're talking about perhaps $6,000 or even $6,600 in total cash value of this credit. And you would get half of that in these deposits that are going to arrive every month. So I have a feeling this is going to turn out to be a popular new benefit.
When you say turn out to be a popular new benefit, is anybody saying this is a bad idea or that we can't afford it, daring to rear that?
Well, there wasn't a single Republican who voted for the American Rescue Plan. Criticism is, number one, it's expensive. It's about $110 billion a year. It's a lot of money. It sounds like free money going out of Washington. I mean, in a way, it's not that different from universal basic income, UBI. The one difference being that this is money that only goes to parents with kids, not to everybody in the population. So, Adam, I think the real question here is, what do voters want? This is more of a social welfare state than we've had up till now. We're going to find out. I mean, this is going into effect for the rest of this year. Then it's set to expire. So we're going to find out. Are voters going to pressure members of Congress to extend this for another year, another 2 years, make it permanent, or will it end at the end of this year?
And Rick, I guess from your perspective, how do you think that's going to play out? I know that's kind of a loaded question at this point, but this is something that Democrats have been pushing for in the past, and now they have some momentum going into at least making this argument right now.
I think it's a very shrewd move by the Democrats to have structured it this way when they passed the American Rescue Plan in March. And President Biden now says, as part of his American Families Plan, which Congress is debating right now, he wants to make this permanent through the end of 2025. I mean, when you start giving money to people, it's hard to take it away. And I'm sure the Democrats know that. I'm sure Biden knows that. So I think that there's a pretty good chance, voters are going to start getting checks in the mail, and that's just going to raise pressure on their representatives in Washington to keep it coming. So I think there's a good chance that at some level, this stays into effect beyond this year, even though it's set to expire in December.
Will the Democrats be able to get the recipients of this to the polls? I mean, that's what they're betting on.
They have to win the messaging battle. I mean, this is clearly a setup for the 2022 midterm elections. Democrats know that. Republicans know that. I think Democrats are going to have a pretty good story on this one. Let's say they do get extended into 2022. They can tell voters, look, if Republicans take control of Congress, they're going to repeal this. None of them voted for it in the first place. They don't like it, and they're going to take it away. So stick with Democrats. We'll see. I don't know yet what the Republican answer to that is going to be, but they're surely going to develop one.
Rick Newman, thanks as always for hopping on here and joining us.